Remember when Sundays carried a hush, that sacred kind of quiet where coffee brewed slow, the paper rustled softly, and your heart felt light? Back then, peace wasn't something to schedule, it simply happened. But somewhere between the clutter of our homes and the noise of modern life, Sundays stopped feeling like rest and started feeling like work. Maybe it's the stack of unopened mail, the dishes that never end, or the ache of realizing you haven't taken a deep breath all week. But what if we could reclaim that peace, not by chasing perfection, but by honoring presence? Today, we'll follow one woman's Sunday reset, a rhythm of gentle cleaning, mindful pauses, and meaningful order that lets her home and her spirit breathe again. Because peace after 60 isn't about slowing down, it's about clearing space to feel alive again. If that already touches something inside you, don't just tap that new hype button and help senior voices rise again on YouTube's calmest corner. Maren Solace, 67, is a retired choir director who still hums before she speaks, a habit she never lost after 40 years of guiding choirs through the beauty of harmony. Her little cottage in Asheville, North Carolina, sits tucked beneath old oak trees, sunlight streaming through lace curtains that once framed decades of rehearsals, laughter, and shared meals. Every corner carries a trace of music, handwritten scores stacked beside framed recital photos, a metronome frozen mid-tick, and a piano bench that's seen more life than rest. But lately, her melody feels off-key. The once lively house hums with quiet disarray, drawers too full, shelves cluttered with just-in-case things, memories layered over moments. It isn't neglect, it's nostalgia piled too high. For Maren, Sundays used to mean peace, church bells in the distance, the comfort of routine, and a phone call from her daughter who always said, "Don't forget to rest today, Mom." But rest began to feel like something she had to earn, not something she could embrace. The house echoed her thoughts, a little too crowded, a little too loud in its silence. So one morning, while her tea steamed beside the piano, she whispered to herself, "It's time to clear space for peace." That was how her Sunday reset routine was born, a gentle ritual, not of chores, but of renewal. She begins by opening a window, letting the cool air roll through the house like a hymn. One corner at a time, she clears and cleans, humming softly to herself. The goal isn't perfection, it's permission. Permission to let go of what no longer serves her, to make room for what still sings. She wipes down the old wooden surfaces, folds the linens she loves, and lights a candle to mark the transition from doing to simply being. For Maren, this reset is about rediscovering rhythm, her own rhythm, one that fits the slower, sweeter tempo of this season of life. It's her quiet act of rebellion against chaos, her way of reminding herself that peace is something you can practice. And through her story, seniors across the country are realizing, sometimes the most powerful way to start again is to begin with one clean breath, one small song, one soft Sunday. Routine 1. The gentle wake-up. Maren begins her Sunday not with noise, but with breath. Before the kettle hums or the sunlight stretches through her curtains, she pauses, eyes closed, one hand on her heart, the other resting on the soft edge of her blanket. 3 deep, deliberate breaths. The first clears the residue of the week. The second grounds her in the present. The third opens space for peace to return. She's learned that before touching her phone or slipping into her slippers, she must first touch stillness, because how the day begins often decides how it will end. Her home hums with quiet. No television. No chatter. Only the sound of the clock ticking and her own gentle breathing. This isn't laziness, it's reverence. For decades, Maren woke to deadlines, schedules, and the rhythm of choir rehearsals. Now, her mornings belong entirely to her. It's a sacred rhythm, slower, softer, but infinitely more meaningful. She walks to the kitchen, fills her favorite mug, and squeezes a wedge of lemon into warm water. The scent, crisp, citrusy, alive, greets her like an old friend. She takes her first sip, closing her eyes as if tasting sunlight itself. There's a certain kind of wisdom that only comes with age, the realization that rushing steals joy, and silence restores it. Maren moves through her home barefoot, the wooden floors creaking softly beneath her. The cat stirs on the sofa, stretches, and blinks at her with sleepy approval. Outside, the light changes from silver to gold. She lets it wash across her face, whispering to herself, This is what peace feels like. Then, she turns to her small record player and places a vinyl she's loved for decades, a slow, wistful piano piece from her teaching days. The first note floats through the air, and she hums along without thinking. Her voice, still warm and steady, fills the corners of the room that clutter once claimed. She stretches gently, arms above her head, shoulders rolling back, feet flexing one at a time. She's not chasing fitness, she's inviting movement, awakening her body with gratitude instead of pressure. As she exhales, she remembers the years she used to hurry, rushing to make breakfast, answer calls, clean, plan, perform. Back then, stillness felt like wasted time. Now, it feels like healing. Begin softly, she murmurs, repeating an old phrase she once told her choir. So the heart can follow. That line has become her quiet mantra. This is her gentle wake-up, part ritual, part restoration. For seniors watching, Maren's approach offers a tender reminder. Peace doesn't come when everything is in order, it comes when you decide to honor the present moment. The body may age, the world may spin faster, but calm remains a choice, one you can make every morning. So she stands by the window, mug in hand, and watches the day bloom. Each breath is a small victory, each moment a quiet declaration that she still belongs here, not in the rush, not in the noise, but in the rhythm of her own gentle beginning. Because at this stage of life, the greatest luxury isn't a perfect morning routine, it's the permission to start slow, to breathe deep, and to feel alive in your own skin once again. Routine 2. The emotional declutter. Before Maren picks up a single cloth or box, she begins with something quieter, a notebook, a pen, and her thoughts. She calls it her heart sweep. On one page, she writes gratitude. On the other, let go. It's become her most sacred Sunday ritual, a private conversation between her mind and her heart. She starts with what she's thankful for, the steady rhythm of her heartbeat, the old piano that still sings when she touches it, the neighbor who waves every morning. Gratitude, she's learned, is the anchor that keeps her spirit steady when life feels unmoored. Then she turns to the harder part, the let go page. Here, the truth spills out in uneven lines, letting go of guilt for slowing down. Letting go of wishing my children called more often. Letting go of the pressure to keep every photo, every letter, every little thing. Each sentence feels like an exhale, a release of emotional dust that's gathered in quiet corners of her heart. This, Maren believes, is where true decluttering begins, not in the closets, but in the corners of the mind. For decades, she measured productivity by how much she accomplished, how many people she helped, how spotless her home looked. But as she's grown older, she's realized something deeply freeing. The things that weigh you down aren't always visible. They are often feelings, regrets, or memories you haven't named yet. She pauses after each line she writes, taking slow, intentional breaths. She reads her gratitude side aloud softly, letting her own words comfort her, grateful for these steady hands, even if they move slower now. Grateful for quiet mornings that ask for nothing but presence. Then she looks at her let go list again, not with judgment, but with grace. It's okay, she whispers. It's all right to release what no longer serves me. To make it tangible, she sometimes pairs this emotional release with a physical act. She folds the page neatly, tears off the let go side, and places it in a small wooden box she calls her grace keeper. It's her way of symbolizing forgiveness, of letting the burden rest somewhere safe, outside her heart. Once a month, she burns the slips of paper in her backyard fire pit, watching the smoke rise like prayers she no longer needs to carry. Experts today agree that emotional clarity plays a vital role in mental health and even longevity among seniors. Studies show that journaling and gentle reflection lower stress levels, improve sleep, and strengthen cognitive resilience, not because they erase life's challenges, but because they teach acceptance. Maren has found that truth on her own terms. She knows that before she can bring order to her shelves or drawers, she must first bring peace to her spirit. So when she feels resistance, that little voice whispering, "What's the point?" she smiles. The point, she reminds herself, is to feel light again. Her message to her viewers is simple yet powerful. Don't rush to clean your space before you've cleared your mind. Write it down. Release it slowly. Because the clutter you can't see often controls more of your life than the clutter you can. For seniors, emotional reset is the first step to physical clarity. It steadies the heart before the hands begin. And now, a gentle nudge for you. What's one thing you'd write under "Let Go" this Sunday? Tell us below. Your words might just help someone else begin to breathe again. Routine 3. The memory sort. This is the part Maren approaches with both tenderness and courage, the sorting of memories. She sits beside a wooden chest she's had for 40 years, the one that's held everything from choir programs to her children's birthday cards. Inside are fragments of her life, faded photographs, handwritten notes, yellowing song sheets, and ticket stubs from concerts long past. Each piece carries a heartbeat. Each one asks to be remembered. But Maren knows she can't hold them all. Not anymore. She takes a deep breath before opening the lid, whispering, "I'm not erasing the past, I'm making room for it to breathe." One by one, she lifts the items out. There's a photo of her first choir group, all smiles and wrinkled music sheets. She laughs softly, remembering how nervous she was that day. That one stays. Then a letter from an old friend she lost touch with years ago. She reads the words slowly, letting the emotions flow through her instead of clinging to them. "This memory is complete," she says, folding the letter and placing it gently in a small envelope labeled "Released with Love." For Maren, this isn't about minimalism in the trendy sense, it's about emotional right-sizing. She's learned that memories can either nourish or numb, and her goal is to keep only what makes her lighter, not lonelier. She keeps the songbooks she still hums from and donates the rest to a local community choir. Someone else's story might begin with "My old notes," she smiles, finding peace in the idea of continuity rather than possession. As she works, she reflects on how decluttering has changed with age. "When I was younger," she says, "I could empty a whole closet in an afternoon. Now, I take my time. I listen to the stories before I let them go." This slower rhythm, she's realized, is not weakness, it's wisdom. It allows her to honor what each object meant before deciding whether it still belongs in her present. Experts in senior wellness now emphasize this concept of emotional pacing, the idea that letting go gradually can actually improve mental and emotional resilience. When we declutter too quickly, especially later in life, it can feel like erasing our own history. But when we move with mindfulness, we transform the process into healing. Maren's memory sort isn't a task to finish, it's a conversation with her past, one she ends on her own terms. She places a few chosen items in a keepsake drawer, her late husband's cufflinks, a photo of her choir performing Amazing Grace, and a seashell her daughter brought home from their last vacation together. These are her anchors, reminders of love and meaning. The rest, she lets go of with gratitude, whispering, "Thank you for what you gave me." Then, she sits back, eyes glistening but calm. The air feels lighter, the room quieter. It's not emptiness, it's space reclaimed. She's not throwing her past away. She's choosing which chapters deserve a frame, and which can finally rest. To every senior watching, Maren's gentle act offers a liberating truth. You don't have to keep everything to honor everything. Sorting through memories isn't about forgetting, it's about curating a life that still feels peaceful to live inside. Let your past be present, but never heavy. And remember, it's okay to take your time. The heart knows when it's ready to release. Routine 4. The light cleaning flow. For Maren, cleaning isn't a race against dust, it's a dance with peace. She doesn't hurry through it or treat it like another chore to cross off. Instead, she calls it her movement meditation. Every Sunday, after her journaling and memory sort, she turns on her old speaker, selects a playlist that mixes soft hymns with gentle jazz, and lets the rhythm guide her hands. The notes float through her living room, a blend of Ella Fitzgerald and an old church melody she used to conduct. The moment the music starts, her body remembers what it means to move with grace. She begins with the surfaces she touches most: her kitchen counter, her reading table, the glass near the window where the light always lands. Her motions are slow and steady, deliberate, each one synced with the music. When the saxophone swells, her arm sweeps across the counter in smooth arcs. When the piano softens, she pauses, takes a breath, and simply listens. It's no longer about spotless perfection, it's about rhythm, balance, and connection. For years, Maren saw cleaning as a duty, a reflection of discipline and order. But these days, she's discovered something more profound. Caring for her home is an act of caring for her body. Every stretch, every gentle twist, every bend to pick up a book or fold a blanket becomes part of her physical wellness. Studies now show that light cleaning, sweeping, dusting, wiping, can improve flexibility, boost circulation, and help maintain balance, especially for seniors. But Maren doesn't need a study to tell her what her body already knows. She feels it, in her steady breathing, in her shoulders relaxing, in the quiet pride that comes from simple movement done with intention. Her home responds too. The air feels fresher. The sunlight seems brighter. Even the cat, always her silent companion, follows her from room to room as if caught in the same rhythm. We move together, she chuckles softly, and it's true, everything in her space begins to flow again. As she polishes her piano's wooden surface, she hums one of her old choir warm-ups. The notes carry through the air, a private concert for the walls that have listened for decades. She smiles, realizing that this ordinary act, has become her quiet form of prayer. Cleaning no longer drains her, it centers her. Each motion becomes an affirmation: I am still strong. I am still capable. I am still here. She finishes each small task with gratitude, not perfectionism. Enough, she says when the floor shines faintly. That's enough for today. It's a lesson many younger viewers could learn from her, that completion isn't the goal, peace is. And peace doesn't come from scrubbing harder, it comes from moving with meaning. Care for your home is care for your body, each motion a reminder of strength, balance, and presence. So she closes her cleaning session the way she began, with music. She sits back in her chair, lets the final song play out, and feels the satisfying hum of calm around her. Then she turns to the camera, her voice soft but sure. Do you ever put on music while you clean? Tell me your favorite tune in the comments below. Maybe next Sunday, we'll move to the same melody. And just like that, cleaning becomes not a task, but a connection, a graceful rhythm between her body, her home, and the unseen community of seniors rediscovering joy in motion. Routine 5. The 3-zone organizing method. After mornings filled with gentle breath, journaling, memory sorting, and mindful cleaning, Maren turns to organizing, but not in a way that overwhelms her or demands perfection. She calls it the 3-zone method, a system born out of years of experience, trial and error, and the understanding that at 6 to 7, simplicity is the ultimate luxury. Her goal is clarity, safety, and serenity, not a magazine-ready home. The first zone is the ease zone. This is where everyday essentials live: her glasses, her favorite mug, her reading lamp, medications, and the TV remote. Everything sits at waist height, within easy reach, so she doesn't have to stretch, bend awkwardly, or risk losing balance. It's practical, intentional, and a form of self-care. Maren has learned that when essential items are accessible, it reduces small stresses that add up: the frustration of misplaced keys, the tangle of cords, or the repeated search for reading glasses. For seniors, this is more than convenience, it's independence. The ease zone lets her move confidently through daily life, reminding her that her space exists to support her, not challenge her. The second is the memory zone. Here, she displays a handful of items that bring joy without creating clutter. A framed photo of her grandchildren on a summer trip, a small music trophy from her choir days, a single candle that smells like lavender and lemon. Maren is deliberate. Each piece is chosen because it sparks warmth or inspiration. She doesn't overcrowd the shelf or the mantle. The goal is to let each memory breathe, to evoke joy, not nostalgia that tugs at her heart too sharply. Seniors often carry decades of possessions, but the memory zone teaches a valuable lesson: meaningful objects should elevate life, not weigh it down. The third zone is the let-go zone. Maren keeps a small wicker basket by the door, ready for donations or items she decides no longer serve her life. Old books, duplicate utensils, clothing she hasn't worn in years, all go here. Every item placed in this basket carries a small moment of release. It's symbolic, too. Letting go physically reinforces the emotional and mental clarity she cultivated earlier. For seniors, having a visible, accessible outlet for items to leave the home ensures the act of decluttering remains manageable and empowering rather than daunting. As she moves between zones, Maren notices subtle transformations. The room feels lighter, the air freer, and even her steps seem less hesitant. She's not aiming for a minimalist showcase, she's crafting a home that breathes, that supports her body, her mind, and her spirit. This is where safety intersects with serenity. Pathways are clear, surfaces are organized, and she knows exactly where to find what she needs. The home now encourages calm, not chaos. Her home begins to breathe again, not picture perfect, but peaceful. This approach carries a larger lesson for seniors. Organization isn't about aesthetics or keeping up with trends. It's about designing a space that mirrors the clarity and balance you want in your life. Each zone is intentional, each placement purposeful. With the 3-zone method, Maren has created a rhythm that lets her move through her day with ease, honor her memories without being burdened by them, and release what no longer fits, all while cultivating a home that nurtures her well-being. Through this gentle, structured approach, she demonstrates that organizing isn't a chore, it's a form of self-respect, a practice of grace, and a celebration of the wisdom gained over decades. Her home, at last, supports her life rather than challenges it, showing that the simplest systems often yield the most profound peace. Routine 6, the comfort corner. After hours of mindful breathing, journaling, memory sorting, gentle cleaning, and organizing, Maren turns her attention to the space she cherishes most, her comfort corner. This sanctuary is small, unassuming, yet profoundly powerful, a dedicated place for her peace and reflection. At its center is a plush, well-worn reading chair, draped with a soft lavender-scented throw. A slender lamp casts a warm, golden glow, ideal for reading, journaling, or simply letting her thoughts wander. Nearby, her cat curls in a basket, purring softly, a living companion mirroring the calm of the room. This is not just furniture, it is a carefully cultivated refuge that reminds her that serenity is an intentional choice, attainable at any age. Maren begins here with quiet reflection. Sometimes she opens a favorite book, poetry, an old hymnal, or a comforting memoir. Other times, she sits with eyes closed, hands resting gently on the armrest, breathing deeply, and allowing her mind to untangle. She prays, plans, or watches sunlight shift across the room, using these moments to honor the life she has built and the simple joys she continues to carry. Each visit to this corner reinforces a sense of presence and self-respect, a ritual of grounding that anchors her Sunday and her week ahead. For seniors, Maren's practice illustrates a vital truth: emotional and mental well-being requires intentional space. Decluttering possessions and organizing rooms is important, but without a dedicated sanctuary, stress and mental clutter can persist. The comfort corner provides a visual and physical cue that rest, reflection, and presence are priorities, not indulgences. Every element is carefully chosen. The chair offers support without sacrificing comfort. The lamp emits gentle light to protect aging eyes while providing clarity. A small potted plant brings life, growth, and a touch of nature indoors, nurturing her senses. Even her cat adds rhythm and companionship, reinforcing calm and presence without demands or expectations. The corner is versatile. Some Sundays, she brings her notebook and writes reflections or gratitude notes, building on her earlier journaling. Other Sundays, she plays soft melodies from her record player, letting her mind drift freely while absorbing the music. Occasionally, grandchildren join her, reading together or sharing stories, showing that a personal sanctuary can accommodate connection as well as solitude. Each activity underscores the corner's role in supporting mental clarity, emotional resilience, and gentle engagement with life. Every Sunday, she returns to this corner, not to escape the world, but to remember she's still part of it. Experts in senior wellness highlight the importance of personal sanctuary spaces for stress reduction, mindfulness, and cognitive health. Maren's routine aligns perfectly. By consistently retreating to this dedicated space, she fosters mental clarity, emotional stability, and a sense of belonging in her own life. The comfort corner is not merely a place to sit, it is a practice of honoring oneself, creating a rhythm of care that rejuvenates her body, mind, and spirit. seniors watching can draw inspiration for their own spaces. A favorite chair, a soft lamp, a treasured book, or a beloved pet can transform a small area into a restorative haven. This intentional design cultivates serenity, supports reflective practice, and reinforces a life lived with purpose. The comfort corner transforms Sundays into meaningful pauses and can extend that calm into every day that follows, creating a rhythm of gentle, intentional living. By prioritizing this space, Maren demonstrates that tranquility, balance, and presence are accessible at any stage of life, offering a blueprint for seniors seeking calm, joy, and mindful engagement. Routine 7. The Evening Reset. As the day fades into evening, Maren embraces her final Sunday ritual, the evening reset. This is not a hurried task or another chore. It is a deliberate pause to honor the day she has lived, to release what no longer serves her, and to cradle the moments of joy she wishes to carry forward. She opens her well-worn leather-bound journal, a companion of decades filled with reflections, triumphs, and quiet insights. In one hand rests a warm cup of chamomile tea, its fragrant steam rising and curling gently around her fingers. The prompt she has reserved for herself reads, "Released, kept." On the release side, Maren writes with intention. She names the guilt of being slower than before, the frustration of tasks taking longer than expected, fleeting worries over unreturned calls, and the self-criticism that creeps in with age. Each word is acknowledgement, not condemnation, a conscious act of separating herself from these burdens. By putting them on paper, she lets them drift away like leaves on a quiet stream, freeing her mind and heart from unnecessary weight. On the kept side, she records moments of joy, gratitude, and accomplishment, the satisfaction of a cleared table, the laughter of a grandchild on a video call, the soft melody of a favorite hymn played during her cleaning routine. These are her treasures, reminders that life's richness is measured not by speed or quantity, but by presence, gratitude, and mindful attention to what truly matters. The act of naming them anchors her spirit, offering a gentle sense of completion and fulfillment. Maren understands that the evening reset is more than journaling, it is a practice of balance. Peace is not the absence of responsibilities, possessions, or challenges, but the presence of enough clarity, enough calm, and enough self-compassion to rest fully. Each entry reinforces this truth, aligning her mind, body, and home in a rhythm of serenity. The reflection and release soothe the nervous system, stabilize thoughts, and prepare her for restorative sleep, a practice crucial for seniors' cognitive health, emotional regulation, and physical recovery. The ritual extends beyond writing. Maren dims her lamp, leaving only a soft glow to fill the room, and performs gentle stretches, neck rolls, wrist circles, and ankle flexes that honor her body's movement without strain. She inhales deeply, feeling the cool night air mix with the warmth of chamomile. Her cat curls at her side, a purring companion reinforcing the stillness and calm. Before closing her eyes, she whispers her chosen mantra, "Peace isn't the absence of things, it's the presence of enough." This phrase reframes her perspective, reminding her to release perfectionism, comparison, and self-imposed pressure. Through the evening reset, Maren models a profound lesson for seniors. The way you close your day shapes the way you greet the next. By reflecting, releasing, and cherishing, she keeps her mind uncluttered, her heart light, and her spirit nourished. Each Sunday night becomes a declaration of self-care, a celebration of presence, and an invitation to live fully within the gentle rhythm of her own life. By the time she lies down, her home is calm, her thoughts aligned, and her body prepared for rest. The day, approached with mindful intentionality, ends not in exhaustion or overwhelm, but in satisfaction, serenity, and readiness to embrace tomorrow. The evening reset, in its deliberate simplicity, restores balance, reaffirms purpose, and shows that at any age, one can close the day softly, gracefully, and with a heart open to all that the future holds. After a full Sunday dedicated to mindful breath, emotional decluttering, memory sorting, gentle cleaning, thoughtful organizing, and reclaiming her comfort corner, Maren's home has transformed, not into a picture-perfect showroom, but into a sanctuary of peace, clarity, and intention. Every corner reflects her choices, what she cherishes, what she releases, and what she allows to simply exist without weighing on her spirit. Her home now mirrors the rhythm of her life, calm, honest, and entirely hers. This is the essence of a Sunday reset. It's not about checking tasks off a list or impressing anyone with order. It's about creating space, physical, mental, and emotional, to live gently, fully, and with awareness. The transformation extends beyond the physical. Maren notices a lighter step, a steadier heart, and a mind more present in the small moments. The sunlight on the windowsill, the soft purr of her cat, the satisfaction of a day approached with intention. The act of clearing clutter, both tangible and intangible, brings a freedom that allows her to savor life's simple joys, to connect more deeply with loved ones, and to embrace the rhythm of her own pace. It's a reminder that serenity isn't about perfection, it's about presence, patience, and choice. Sometimes, the best kind of order isn't seen, it's felt. By taking time to nurture herself and her surroundings, Maren models a truth for seniors everywhere. Intentional care, thoughtful release, and gentle routines cultivate an environment where the heart and mind can breathe. A Sunday reset is not a one-time chore, it's a practice of self-respect and mindful living, a gift that extends into the week and beyond, creating a ripple of calm and focus in every corner of life. Before you go, here's how to hype this video and support wise aging seniors. Step 1. Scroll down and find the hype button on your YouTube app. Step 2. Tap it, choose your points, and confirm. Step 3. You get 3 free hypes every week, and every one helps our senior community grow stronger. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend who deserves a calmer Sunday. By taking these small steps, you're not just supporting a video, you're helping build a movement where seniors can reclaim peace, joy, and intentional living in their homes and hearts. Together, we create a space where life after 60 is celebrated, not hurried, where our routines are our allies, not our obligations, and where every Sunday can become a quiet promise of well-being, balance, and gentle purpose. Take this moment, tap hype, and be part of a community that honors the wisdom and grace of every senior life.